Indonesia in Oslo in collaboration with and sponsored by Barito Pacific, Moya Holding, Terindo Bumi Raya, Adisakti Solusi Komputindo, and Parta Graha Peduli. We are delighted for your participation in this business gathering, which later followed by dinner after this, with the theme Exploring Potential Cooperation in Trade, Tourism, and Investment between Indonesia and Norway. Now, we would like to kindly invite Ambassador Todung Mulya Lubis to the stage to deliver his opening remarks. Ambassador Lubis, the stage is yours.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and warm welcome to all of you who are here today. It's always great to see familiar faces and of course to welcome new faces at our event. I was sitting in that table and I was asked, what happened to my lips actually. I spent 3 days in Svalbard. It was super cold, I couldn't stand it. And we were taken to places where people were not supposed to be. Because I was the guest of the foreign minister's office. So here I am, but it's getting better. Don't worry about that. It's not contagious. I would like also to thank the Indonesian Investment Promotion Center in London for joining us today virtually. We hope next time you will be able to come to Norway and meet with all our colleagues here. This business gathering is an annual event held by the embassy, and we hope to maintain and grow our relationship with our Norwegian partners in the years to come. I would like to express my deepest appreciation to all our sponsors for making this event possible. These are our sponsors from Indonesia, and I wish next time we can have sponsors from Norway. Because when we talk about collaboration and relationship, I think we are in the same boat and we have to support each other, and we are looking forward to your sponsorship next time. Many of you have known Indonesia, and you have visited Indonesia, and probably not only once, several times. But Indonesia is a dynamic country, always progressing and transforming in many aspects, hopefully for the better. I would like to read an excerpt from an article I found recently in the Financial Times, entitled Indonesia's Unexpected Success Story, which I believe gives an objective portrait of Indonesian current state of economy, in which, let me just read that. It's quite interesting to me. At a time when the global economy is being battered by the Ukraine war and the global energy crisis, food and climate crisis as well, Indonesia has emerged as an unlikely outlier, boasting both a booming economy and period of political stability. Gross domestic product expanded 5.4% year-on-year in the second quarter, well above forecasts. The country's inflation rate at 4.7% in August. I don't know how much is your inflation here in Norway, probably more than 0.7%. Its currency, the rupiah, is among the best performing in Asia this year, and its stock market is hitting records high. So many emerging markets have problems. Indonesia doesn't have all those problems right now. The economy is firing on all cylinders. What happens next year remains to be seen, but I'm hopeful that we will be able to deal with probably some of the difficulties faced by us, although it's not going to be easy. People said winter is coming. Well, it's really coming very soon. So that article, of course, gives a very positive outlook on Indonesia. But we know that Indonesia is not perfect. There are still concerns around corruption. With Indonesia still scoring low on its corruption perception index, there are still concerns about some regulation and uncertainty and a widening deficit in the state's budget. Not to mention that the most recent hikes in rates by the Fed in the US has also disrupted the global economy, putting pressures on the rupiah's exchange rate and potential inflation. We also should not forget that the pandemic is still here. Well, I'm not talking about Norway, at least in Indonesia, where you still have to wear masks. Well, when you come to Indonesia, you don't need to be quarantined, of course, but wearing masks, even though it's not really that strict, but people still do. But we must continue to be optimistic. We still have reasons to be, especially for Indonesia and Norway relations in various sectors. This year, Indonesia is currently the president of the G20, where the motto is recover together, recover stronger. And we believe that Norway is an important partner in one of the main topics of Indonesia's presidency in the G20, which is sustainable energy transition. My dear friends, just a few months ago, two Indonesian ministers, the Minister of Fisheries and Maritime Affairs and the Ministers of Energy and Mineral Resources, came to Norway to pave the way for stronger relations between the two countries in these sectors. I'm glad to note that as a follow-up, the ministers' visit, there have recently been visits from Norwegian businesses to Indonesia to explore the opportunities that have been offered. We are also expecting some Indonesian businesses in the upcoming months to come and visit Norway to explore potential cooperation within the renewable energy sectors and fishery sectors. Let me tell you this. Indonesia is a land of opportunity for renewable energy with hydropowers, solar, and geothermal. In my last trip to Indonesia, I met a lot of Indonesian businessmen looking for collaborations with Norway's. For me, it is a matter of connecting the dots. And we have plenty of time to do that, although the prediction of global economy is not really that bright, but there are still ways for us to collaborate, I believe. Lastly, although we are still living with the pandemic, I'm pleased to note that Indonesian tourism industry is slowly reviving. Bali is now super crowded, not only by those attending the G20 meeting, but by tourists from many parts of the world. Please keep in mind that we have other spectacular tourist destinations aside from Bali, like Komodo Islands, Raja Ampat, Borobudur, Toba Lake, Wakatobi, and Mandalika. I just talked to one of my good friends here that we have plenty of time to collaborate in those tourist destinations. and especially for those who like to see Komodo, this is a good opportunity to visit Komodo Islands, because they are building a lot of tourist facilities in Komodo Islands. And they are ready to welcome anyone who wants to visit Indonesia. And we would like to have more Norwegians to come to Indonesia. The latest statistic that we have, before the pandemic, we had probably around 20,000 Norwegians visiting Indonesia, much less than Norwegian visiting Thailand, for instance. So we have a lot of work to do, to bring more Norwegians to visit Indonesia and to bring Indonesia to visit Norway at the same time. So the tourism sectors has always been a significant drivers of Indonesia economic growth in pre-pandemic times. We are now trying to create a stronger and more resilient post-pandemic tourism. And the Indonesian government has relaxed its travel and quarantine regulation considerably, starting in late March of this year. Foreigners entering Indonesia from abroad no longer need to quarantine, as long as they are fully vaccinated. We have also reinstated our visa on arrival policy, not only for tourists, but also for business travelers entering Indonesia, now for 86 select nationalities, including Norway and Iceland. Ladies and gentlemen, we will hear more from our presenters today about the progress of Indonesia and potentials for cooperation. I hope we can also discuss later how the embassy can assist you in developing your business with Indonesia. Once again, I thank you for coming to our gathering today, and I hope you enjoy the discussion, the presentations, and of course the dinners. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ambassador Lubis, for your opening remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now moving to our next agenda. In this evening, we will have 4 speakers who will deliver about economic updates, Trade Expo Indonesia, investment potential and opportunities, tourism, and followed by question and answer. Without further ado, I will invite Aulia Rinaldi Azza, Counselor for Economic Affairs, to deliver his presentation on Indonesian economic updates, and later by Muhammad Iqbal, First Secretary for Economic Affairs, to deliver his presentation on opportunities through Trade Expo Indonesia 2022. Pak Aldi, the stage is yours.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for coming to this gathering on a Friday evening. We understand that many of you have busy schedules and had to rearrange your schedules to be able to be here today, so it's highly appreciated your presence here today. So, next, just a little bit outline of the presentation. I hope it's not too long. A little bit about the economic update of Indonesia. What's new? We have a new regulation. We have new agreements between Indonesia and Norway, and what can we do next together? Next slide. So the ambassador gave you a brief update about some of the statistics about Indonesia's economy, which he saw from the Financial Times. And this I found, I was watching CNN just 2 days ago. This is our finance minister with Richard Quest from CNN, and they were talking about how well Indonesia's economy was doing. They were saying that Indonesia has one of the lowest inflation rates around the world. The ambassador mentioned, I think in August, the inflation rate stood at around 4.7%, but unfortunately in September it went up to around 5.9%. But we're still doing better than a lot of other Southeast Asian countries like the Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. And in the graphs below the picture, you can see that compared to other G20 members such as the UK, US, Brazil, Mexico, India, we are still doing better as well, but not as well as China and Japan. Next, so how was Indonesia able to recover from the pandemic so quickly and maintain its projected growth of, it was 5.2, so we're doing better than our projections. It's 5.4% economic growth. Well, this growth is of course because of our high domestic consumption. We shouldn't forget that Indonesia has a population of over 270 million with a strong growing middle class. It's considered as a middle income country at the moment with a large appetite for consumer products. And another reason for this strong growth is of course the rise of global commodities prices. Our commodities have been doing well in exports, and also growing investments contributed to this positive economic growth. Next. So, as you can see from the map of Indonesia here, this is the growth of the economy in each of the provinces, and as you can see, this growth is pretty well across the whole of Indonesia. So green is above 3 and 4%, and some areas even past 7%, such as in central Kalimantan. You have to look at this and realize that this spans over 5,000 kilometers from west to east, and it's 3 different time zones. So it's pretty amazing to see that we can have a good spread of the economic growth like this in a country such as big as Indonesia. Next slide. So how did we manage this? You can see some of the policies that Indonesia has to maintain this economic growth. It stems from the economic structure that was basically a commodities-based export structure, and we are trying to transform it to a manufacturing and services industry country. There have been budget reforms. We recently had a reduction of fuel subsidies, and there's massive investments in infrastructure as well. Next, so this is just a snapshot of the G20, as the ambassador mentioned earlier, that we are the president of the G20 for this year. Some of the main topics of our presidency include global health, digital transformation, and of course what's important for Indonesian-Norway relations is sustainable energy transition. So we hope that we can do more with Norway in this topic. Next slide. So what is new? This is concerning renewable energy. There is a new presidential regulation that was just signed and enacted last month on the 12th of September on the acceleration of development of renewable energy for electricity, which Fred knows very much about. We had a discussion about this. Next slide. So, yes, it's not working. The background for this was we needed a legal basis to retire all our coal-fired power plants. So what we're planning to do is we're planning to start retiring them from 2030, and then hopefully by 2060 our energy mix will be consisting of only renewable energy by 2060. There is a shorter term target to increase this energy mix to 23% by 2025, very ambitious, considering that we are only at about 12% at the moment. And of course, we also have nationally determined contribution, or NDC, to reduce our emissions by 29% in 2030, which just has been enhanced by our government to 31.89% unconditionally, mainly through forestry and other land uses, but also through empowering renewable energy. You can see from our roadmap here, this is the roadmap to net zero emission. I mentioned before the 23% of renewable energy by 2025, the starting of the retirement of the coal power plants, and we hope to have 57% renewable energy by 2035, which is dominated by solar power, hydro, and geothermal, which is our most potential. We also plan to have nuclear actually in 2045, and by 2060, hopefully, net zero, all renewable energy, hopefully. So this is a bit technical. For those of you in the renewable energy sector, of course, will understand. But the key points of this presidential regulation: there is a new price mechanism where there is no feed-in tariff, but there is a price ceiling for the procurement of this renewable energy. I don't see much difference from the previous regulations, but we still have to go through the auction system, as they call it. And yes, the development of this new procurement is through the electricity business supply plan from the years 2021 to 2030, which in this plan we hope to build at least 51% of all our new power plants from renewable energy. Next slide. In this regulation, it also stipulates about each government's role to support this new regulation. So if you have problems in certain phases of your project or with your investment, we have to go to these certain ministries. I know there are problems, and we can discuss those problems, and we will talk to these ministries about the problems that you face, such as, for example, for solar power. I know there is a requirement for local content of the solar panels. That is something regulated by the Ministry of Industry. So we need to talk to both talk to the Ministry of Energy and the Ministry of Industry if we want to discuss about your investment that requires local content. Next, now this is something that would interest all the businesses in the fisheries industry. This is the mutual recognition arrangement that was signed between Indonesia and Norway just 2 weeks ago in Bergen, between the Norwegian Food Safety Authority and our Ministry of Fisheries. Next slide. So the title of the arrangement is MRA on Quality, Food Safety and Health Assurances of Fish and Fishery Products. It's very technical, so I'll just explain what it means for business. Basically, it means that we can import and export seafood products between Indonesia and Norway again. Because previously, for the past 2 years, Indonesians were not able to eat Norwegian salmon because Norway couldn't fulfill some of the health certificate requirements that the Indonesian authorities required. But with this arrangement signed, we can now enjoy Norwegian salmon, and of course, you can also import Indonesian tuna from Indonesia. Next slide. And let's not forget that we also already have the Indonesia-EFTA Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. It already entered into force last year on the 1st of November, and this covers 90% of all tariff lines for Indonesian products to enter Norway. So it's all duty free. So if you'd like to import something from Indonesia, take advantage of this SEPA, as we call it. And if any of you need the full list, I have the full list of all the products that are duty free that I can send you. And on the other hand, next slide, Norwegian products also have some preferential tariffs. It's not duty free yet at the moment, such as salmon. There's still a tariff for the export of salmon to Indonesia. If it's whole, fresh, or frozen, it's still 5%, and for the salmon fillet, it's still 10%. But this tariff will gradually be lowered between 9 and 12 years from now, but it's annually being reduced a certain percentage. And also for certain industrial products, there are some that have already duty-free preference as well, such as fertilizers. So I know we have someone from Yara here, and gas turbines and those other equipments that are already duty-free. Next slide. So what's next? How can we explore some new possibilities? If you didn't know already, we are planning to move our capital from Jakarta, which is very crowded, and they say is sinking, to another island in Kalimantan. It will be a brand new city. We hope it will be a smart city and a green city, and we would like to see Norwegians or Norwegian companies help in building this new city. We need new smart systems for water management, waste management, green buildings, new infrastructure, new energy and power plants, and we need new smart transportation systems. So there's much potential for cooperation with Norway. Next, we also have here with us our partners from Norwegian financial institutions, financing institutions like Eksfin. So we can discuss with these institutions on how Norwegian companies can partner with the financing institutions to go into Indonesia and take advantage of the funds that are accessible for Norwegian companies to go into Indonesia. And next, this is my last slide. We hope to be able to partner you with Indonesian companies. As the ambassador mentioned, that several Indonesian companies have expressed their interest to have cooperation with Indonesia. The ambassador was just in Indonesia and met with I don't know how many, but many companies, and they all, I think, expressed their interest to visit Norway. We have 2 that are coming in the near future, and we will hope to get them in touch with all of you. So, thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to share with you about the exhibition in Indonesia. This is continuing with Pak Aldi about the economic. Now we are trying to share about the exhibition in Indonesia. This is the biggest exhibition in Indonesia, which is, we call it Trade Expo Indonesia. Actually, last year we organized this exhibition virtually. Now we organize this both. I mean, offline and online. So for the offline will be 19 until 23 October, officially opened by the President, His Excellency Joko Widodo. And for the online will be until 19 December. So this exhibition will how do you call it, will provide the information about the potential cooperation with Indonesia. So all of you in the business sector will see this website, and then you can access this online. This is the website. This is actually very easy, so you can type it www.tradeexpoindonesia.com. So after you visit this website, you can guide to the exhibition virtually. So next, this is the category of the product will be displayed. That is how do you call it? The accessories, the manufacture, food and beverage, medical equipment, digital services, and furniture and home decor. Actually, this virtual exhibition is to assist all of the business traders, the trader in other countries. If they can come to Indonesia, they can visit the exhibition virtually. No need. We have a lot of schedule, for example, and then you can visit this exhibition very easy. A display or the exhibit in the expo. So next, please, Indonesia, but also in the virtual, just register it in the exhibition in the website, and then you will how do you call it? Complete all of your registration here, and also you will mention your company in the website. Actually, I must demonstrate this, but to make it simple, so that you can just do it by yourself after you arrive in home. Okay, next please. This is the sample for if you want to register your company. Here there is also registered as a visitor, buyer, exhibitor, of course, no, but this for the media. But for the visitor or buyer, you can register by that, and you can put your email and also your password for the login, and it is after you login, you will guide to the virtual exhibition, and there is also a virtual exhibition, exhibitor list, and also e-directory. In that, for example, in apps you will see the virtual exhibition. If you click that, there is also a exhibitor list. So you can find your partner or your partner based on your category you have chosen. Okay, next please. This is the last one about another exhibition in Indonesia. So this is about the seafood show of Asia Expo. Will be in November. So if you are interested, also you may join or you may come to Indonesia, and you will attend this exhibition. Of course, Indonesian Embassy will assist you if you are interested to cooperate with Indonesia or to have a partner in Indonesia. You may contact the embassy. I think, for example, someone here from Asia Food and also Scandinavia interested, to buy from Indonesia, noodle Indonesia from Indonesia. That's all, just for the highlight of the exhibition in Indonesia. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Pak Iqbal. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry. We will deliver the PowerPoint later on through your email. So, don't worry about that. Ladies and gentlemen, I kindly invite Aditya Prasta, Head of Indonesia Investment Promotion Center from London, who are here with us on screen, and he will deliver a presentation on investment potentials and opportunities between Indonesia and Norway. Pak Aditya, Mas Adit, is all ready? Can we check first? Can we hear you, Pak Aditya?
Thank you, moderator.
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, the stage is yours then.
Thank you, moderator. So, very good evening, His Excellency, Mr. Ambassador, Professor Jordan Mulia Lubis, Norwegian business communities, honorable speakers, and of course, ladies and gentlemen. Very apologies for not being able to attend the business gathering because we will have Minister of Investment visit London next week. So I'm really sorry about this. But hopefully we could also join another meeting later, maybe next year or later this year in Oslo or maybe other cities in Norway. So without further ado, I will try to share this screen first. Just a minute. Hopefully you could see the slide over here. Okay. So my name is Aditya. I'm the director of Indonesia Investment Promotion Center in London. We are basically the representatives in the top 10 largest investors. They came from Singapore, China, Hong Kong, Japan, and we have the first country from European region, that is the Netherlands. We also have some other regions in this top 10. Currently, Norway is in the United Kingdom, Switzerland, Germany, and Luxembourg. Then we can see in this slide that Norway has contributed in the last 4 to 5 years about $63.56 million worth of investment to go to Indonesia. We can see the trend right here, although we have quite fluctuating, but we could also understand that lots of the stakeholders should be involved in that kind of decisions, from the shareholders and then the lenders, and then of course the future local partners in Indonesia, and of course the government, between both governments, the Norwegian government and Indonesian government. There are lots of more Norwegian investors that will be involved in the near future to go to Indonesia. And we could also see in the next slide that most of the investments from Norway came to the tertiary sectors. They were coming to services and then chemical and pharmaceutical industry. Although they also came to some of the primary sectors and secondary, just like the mining, and then the pharmaceutical industry is the secondary, and then the tertiary is the hotel, restaurant, real estate, and etc. Of the region from Norwegian investors came to West Papua. This is quite interesting because West Papua is located about 6 to 8 hours flight from Jakarta. This is giving us more hopes that we could also develop more investment to go to every other regions in Indonesia, not only to Java Islands. And from the top 10 investors who came from Norway, we could see here some famous names such as Jotun and Baizeni, Eslan. Although we we could see here that most of the investors are trying to blend with the local partners in Indonesia. That's why they are using Indonesian names such as Petroprima and then Penagraha and everything else. I would like to also share with you this time during this event about the latest policies and strategies of Indonesian government. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Moderator.
So thank you, Pak Aditya. We will keep you for later question and answer. But before that, we have one more speaker to deliver about tourism. I would like to invite Hendra Octavianus. Pak Hendra, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Really nice to meet you. And for those who haven't met me yet, my name is Hendra. I'm in the Social Cultural Department in the Embassy of Indonesia, Higli and Motodai. And I promise my presentation is going to be quick because I'm the one who's standing between you and your dinner, and it's not good. So yeah, I promise. It's only 200 slides. So yeah, my presentation is about tourism in Indonesia and its strategy and opportunities. So for those who haven't been to Indonesia, I would like to say welcome to Indonesia. But for those who has been to Indonesia, I would like to say welcome back because Indonesia is open now. Next. So, just like the ambassador said during his opening speech, the COVID era is really the time that the global tourism hit itself on the face, and especially in Indonesia as well. Indonesian tourism fell by 75% from 60 million to 4 million, and Bali was one of the places that hit the hardest with almost 94% loss of its tourism from the international tourists. It helps by the domestic tourists, but it still only count like 30% from its total tourism. And with the times goes on and the vaccine rolls out, we will have bounce. So the international tourist visit increased 100% in 2022 until August to 1.8 million compared to the same period. Because of the COVID, we have time to restructure our infrastructures, our services. So we point out that tourism industry now focus on the cleanliness, health, safety, and environmental sustainability in Indonesia. And of course, I would like to point out as well a few statistics from Norwegian tourists to Indonesia. So, like the ambassador said, the Norwegian tourist probably is not as big as in Thailand. That we still have become our homework now. In 2019, we have almost 24,000 Norwegian to Indonesia, and down to only 5,000 in 2020, and plummet only 300 in 2021. But it's growing until August 2022 is 4,500 visitors from Norwegia. So it's getting there, the recovery. The recovery from COVID, Indonesia now has fully administered 423 million vaccines, and 169 million of Indonesia already fully vaccinated, and it's a really huge number, or 72% of total population. So this is our recovery process for our tourism industry. Next. So, as mentioned in the ambassador speech, we already begin to opening our borders since early 2022. We put Norwegian and Icelandic for visa arrival. That makes a boost for Norwegian and ethnic visits to Indonesia. And as of July and October, the fully vaccinated and boosted tourists doesn't need to be tested at the border. But all travelers still need to install the Peduli Lindungi applications. Next. So yeah, this is the next big step. So the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy implements some of the priorities, the flagship programs for tourism recovery in Indonesia. There's a few, but there's some that may be fit for Norwegian markets. On 2023, Indonesia targets 7.3 million international tourists from all around the world. Hopefully, Norwegian becomes a quite big jump for that number. Next. So this is few programs that the ministry introduced to boost tourism. First is the digital nomads. It's for those who want to work with a view, and for Norwegian salary, living in Bali, that's heaven by itself. Indonesia have a B2111 visa, so visitors can have a 60 days stay and can be extended to 180 days or 6 months. And now the Indonesia government is considering the process to introduce a second home visa to facilitate tourists to stay 5 to 10 years in Indonesia. There's a lot of asterisks in this progress, but we can discuss it a bit later. Can we back just a bit? The favorite destination for digital nomads is in Canggu, Jimbaran, and Uluwatu in Bali. Next. Second flagship program that introduced is the wellness tourism. This is for those who need healing and mind and body. So this is a program that introduced during 2022 Creative Economy Conference. Indonesia has a lot of potentials, has a lot of culture that helps for a recovery, both in mind and physical. Probably Pak Kanton can use this if you have a headache dealing with the PLN. The priority destination for this tourism is in Bali, Solo, and Jogja, and both from you can all read all of this from the healthy eating, weight loss, medicine, even medication and therapy is all there. And Indonesia built the infrastructure, especially in Bali, Solo, and Jogja, for this market tourism. Next. And Indonesia also would like to highlight the ecotourism industry, especially we know that Norwegian has a life to the adventure. So we have a lot of programs such as tumbling, where you can meet, visit and travel to jungle and visit a wild tree, like half the G20, because it's going to be crowded. Before, yeah, sorry. And one of the things that may be interested that can be highlighted for Norwegian audience is by supporting this ecotourism, you're also supporting the protection and conservative programs for biodiversity in Indonesia. Next. And in 2022, the Indonesian government also introduced the 5 super priority destinations. It's a really creative name. It's a Mandalika, Labuan Bajo, Borobudur, Likupang in Sulawesi, and of course Danau Toba, the home province of our ambassadors. These 5 super priority destinations will be a focus for the Indonesian government to attract investors and to have a more infrastructure development that been tailored for tourism. Next. And this is also one of the programs that we would like to do next year. You can see there's a few probably familiar face. There's probably Anne and of course Vladimir of the back there. It was in 2019 from the programs, and beginning 2022, Indonesia Ministry of Tourism will resume the family trip programs to Indonesia again, starting in September. They prioritize focus country first, just like the Dutch and China, but hopefully Indonesian Embassy can have a program again in 2023. Next. And last, I promise this is the last, Indonesian Embassy will join Explore the World in January 13th to 15th, working together with Anna. So we would like to welcome all of you who in the tourism business to join us and collab with us to present yourself at our booth. And that's it. That's as promised. Thank you so much, and have a good dinner. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Pak Hendra. So before going to the dinner, we would like to give you opportunity to ask questions to our speakers. The first speaker was Pak Aldi, the second speaker was Pak Iqbal, the third one is Pak Aditya.
Yes, Frederick from the MFA and Innovation Norway. I was just wondering, the SEPA agreement and invest is also, it's not just a free trade agreement, it's also an investment agreement, right? How does this affect the positive investment list and the negative investment list? Is there any difference now? Are there any additional advantages for Norwegian companies in that sense in investment in Indonesia?
Pak Aditya, did you hear the question clearly?
Yes, Pak.
Okay, I think, is there any more question or we can go for the answer right away? I think, yeah, you can answer it right away, Pak Aditya.
Thank you so much, Pak. I haven't read in details regarding the SEPA agreement between Indonesia and Norway, but I have read another that kind of agreement, and I believe there are some kind of special incentives if the agreement was agreed between the two countries. Because usually for example, we don't give some kind of incentive in terms of maybe specialized sectors, for example, health sector or maybe the renewable energies. But with the specific agreement, then we would agree on quite specific things related to more investment incentives. But I believe the embassy of Indonesia in Oslo has also some more experts regarding this agreement and maybe the impact on more investment to go to Indonesia.
Thank you very much. My name is Paul Davidson. I'm partner and senior consultant in a European consultancy company called Blue Pedersen Public Affairs. We're also in London. My question is that in recent years we've seen a tightening of political regulations requirements on the import of palm oil. And I know during the initial phases of the war in Ukraine with disruption of global supply chains, you also had and export and stop in export from Indonesia. But how do you perceive the palm oil exports from Indonesia to the European market, and what kind of prospects do you see on that?
Okay, thank you, Paul. And Aditya, would you like to answer it right away?
Actually, this is more like trade issues, but do we have any other trade attaché there, or should I maybe answer in more general after from moderator? Because I'm specifically for the investment, so a bit different nature between the trade and investment actually in Indonesia.
Yes.
How about Mr. Moderator?
Yeah, this is a tricky issue because we've discussed with Paul, I think several times about how we can continue to promote and even advocate for products that contain palm oil. Because as we know, in some European countries that have restrictions toward products that contain palm oil. But with the disruption of oil, and other vegetable oils provided by European countries such as rapeseed, there's been an increase in the price of cooking oil that comes from rapeseed and sunflower. So we, as I mentioned in my presentation earlier, we saw a jump in our export of palm oil as well for industries that require cooking oil. So in a way, there was a positive aspect of this war for Indonesian commodities, but what we are trying to advocate for palm oil is that palm oil is actually the, you can say, the most regulated and most certified vegetable oil compared to all those other oils like soybean oil, sunflower oil, rapeseed oil. Indonesia has what is called the Indonesian Sustainable Palm Oil Certification. We're part of the RSPO, Roundtable Sustainable Palm Oil as well. So there is no problem actually to go into the Norwegian market regulation-wise, because there are no regulations against palm oil products to Norway. But there is, unfortunately, a negative sentiment towards products that contain palm oil because it's still perceived as the crop that is destroying rainforest. But we still try to advocate that that is not the case now. There is now a moratorium towards the expansion of palm oil estates. So no, I believe, and I think that no more forests are being destroyed or vacated for the purpose of palm oil plantations. So, and there's a lot of conservation efforts towards our forests and toward our wildlife. So there should not be any more negative sentiment towards palm oil.
If I may, I would like to push more incentives for the downstream sector. That also includes the palm oil. So we would like to have more investments related to the industries that are quite related to palm oil and other downstream sectors?
Talking about palm oil, actually I do import noodles from Indonesia, contains palm oil, but we use the sustainable palm oil, which is accepted by the Norwegian supermarket today. So there is no more issues like before. It was 4 years ago. It was very, very difficult for me to enter the Norwegian market with the Indonesian products, which is contains the palm oil. And after I persuaded the supermarket by using the sustainable palm oil, so I don't have any problem anymore. So now my products, the noodles, ABC, contains the palm oil, are everywhere in the supermarket in Norway.
Only vegetable oil.
Thank you, Bu Emi, and go back to Frederick.
Yes. I think this might be for both Pa Aditya and Pa Aldi about the new capital city, Nusantara. How would Norwegian companies approach to get in contact to actually be part of the development of an investment of the new capital city? And then a by question is that the list you had of the 10 Norwegian company or biggest investors, it would be very interesting to if we could have the name, or if I could have the names at least of the Norwegian partners. I think I can pick out some of them based on the names, but not all of them. It would be very interesting for the MFA and Innovation Norway in helping them increase their investments.
I think we answer it first, and then we can go next. Okay.
You was from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You know, I would just like to piggyback on Frederick's questions about the new capital, and if you could share some perspectives about the relationship between the new capital in East Kalimantan and Jakarta. I understand the plan is to move then all ministries, key ministries, to East Kalimantan. But do you foresee that Jakarta will remain the business hub or the business capital, business center, and existing in tandem with East Kalimantan? How will the role be? And the second question is about the new capital. I understand the vision is to develop a very green city, a city in a garden, a city in a forest. So do you foresee that this is going to be kind of a knowledge incentive kind of city with a lot of modern high-tech companies and with R&D institutions like a knowledge capital? Some perspectives around this development would be very interesting to hear. Thank you.
Let me try to answer some of your questions. Well, when I visited Jakarta last time, the last visit I met with the head of the new capital authority. The idea that was presented to me and to others, of course, that they are going to build a green city, a smart city, and they are looking for collaborations. They are looking for investment. Now, since they are building a green city, that means, in this new capital, you will only have renewable energy. So that's why it's very much interested to come to Norway. It's going to attend the COP27 meeting in Cairo, in Egypt. And the plan is to visit Norway afterwards. So I would like to, probably try to connect them with renewable companies here in Norway, to discuss what can Norway contribute to the new capitals. The new capital would only allow electrical companies, cars. So there is a lot of opportunities to help them to facilitate the ecosystems, yeah, for the new capital, for the renewable, for the smart city. And one other things that was mentioned to me, they are very aggressive here in very looking forward to have innovative, innovations, yeah, and emission reductions in the new capitals. When someone talk about NDC, National Determined Contributions, that Indonesia commit, to be carbon neutral by 2060. In your capital, the target is to have what they call LDC by 2045. So by 2045, that will be totally a carbon-free city. That was the idea. So again and again, let me just say that there are a lot of opportunities, in this new capital, and I'm really looking forward to his visit to Oslo this time after the COP27. So let's try what we can do together, and probably I will try to organize something to meet you guys here.
Thank you, Ambassador. Any additional answer, Aldi or Pak Aditya? Would you like to add something? I think there is one particular question.
Maybe just a little bit. This is a really good answer from Mr. Ambassador. I just want to add a little bit that the transition from Jakarta to the new capital city will be done quite, carefully by the government of Indonesia. So maybe for the first stage of the new capital city, which is called Nusantara, the government of Indonesia would like to build the core centers of the capital city, and then sustainable and integrated environment, not only with Jakarta, which is located in other islands in Java, but projects related to investment that would allow more Norwegian companies to go to Indonesia. Okay, that helps.
Thank you, Pak Adit. Okay, Pak Fred Canton, I think maybe it's continue the dinner.
Thank you. When I was in Indonesia now 3 weeks ago, when they released the new presidential regulation for renewable energy investments, it came to my mind that it's very different from what actually the draft version of the presidential regulation looks like. And it's still a lot of regulatories that prevents foreign investment within renewable energy in the new presidential regulation also. And when you ask people or ask companies to invest in Indonesia, there is a lot of Norwegian companies that like to invest, but it's a very time-consuming process and very high risk in that process in doing so. So there is a lot of need for those companies to get help from both the embassies and also to have to kind of go through that long process in doing that kind of investment. So if you really need that renewable energy and Norwegian companies to come in and do investment there needs to be a change in those, also the new revised presidential regulation of investment. There is no possibility. It will take 6, 7, 8, 10 years before you actually you start a process before you can actually build hydropower plants there. Maybe solar will be a quicker way, but still for hydropower, it's a long process actually. So what's the thoughts on why not go back to the draft version of the presidential regulation and maybe try to get that done instead of the recent release of it.
Thank you, Pak Fred. I think it's Pak Aldi who is going to answer, or Pak Aditya.
Investment procedures first, maybe.
Okay, maybe for investment procedure first, Pak Aditya.
Yes. I can't hear quite clearly about the investment procedure. Could the moderator help me maybe to you know to the questions from
It was about the regular.
trying to simplify all sectors. But we could not leave maybe some unique or maybe a bit dangerous investment sectors, especially related to the safety of the citizens and the sustainability of the environment. We could not leave new investment that is quite dangerous to all of them, and we put some more complex procedures. But if the investment
Which phase of the process towards the investment that you are really facing the bottlenecks? Is it the AMDA or the environmental requirements that is a long process, or is it more of the procedures in going and going to PLN or the state-owned electricity company? If that is the problem, that's the bottleneck there. Have you engaged in discussions directly with PLN, or would you like us to continue to facilitate your discussions, or is it still are discussions still on the table? Yes.
we are a little bit more but related to PTPLN. Yes, actually, for at least for the renewable energy sector, we have to deal with the fact that the main off-takers will only be PTPLN right now. And that will also have some great impact in terms of taking. The ones who have good communication with PTPLN and its subsidiaries. And
Yeah, thank you, Pak Fred Canton, because you are lucky you are in the same table with Pak Aldi, so you can interrogate him during the dinner. Pak Aditya, thank you so much, and we are really sorry that you can join us. You cannot join dinner with us here, but I hope next time. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue to dinner. Our colleague will deliver the menu to your table.